My content is intended for adult collectors of the product, not made for kids. Hello everyone! For this video, we'll be going over the worst of 2021. So while I did do a video going over the best, highlighting some really good releases, we're going to be going over the worst. Now, we did do voting for both of these things. We'll first go over Hasbro, then we'll go over Takara Tomy. My criteria was either overall a disappointing release, poor performance, or in TT's case, it's just really talking about specific parts I had gripes with or whatever, but yeah. Let's first start off with the Hasbro section. This is going to be really easy, because, woof. And by the way, actually, leave a like and leave a comment and subscribe if you are new here. Show this channel some love. We're trying to get to 600K before the year ends for 2022. And yeah, let's get started. So, Infinite Achilles, they didn't do the attachment gimmick like the previous one. Achilles has the worst slopes out of basically, almost the worst slopes out of all of Surge, right next to Dillon D6. The Dimension Speedstorm, no gimmick, disappointing release, and poor performance. So, moving on. Basically, these two are kind of the same. So, incorrect parts. There's no chassis disc. The only thing that was good from Brave was literally just Evolution Speedstorm, and that was about it. This was an absolute garbage release, poor performance. And Spryzen, they did the dual spin incorrectly and no chassis disc. Gold Ring was done incorrectly. There's no flip or anything. It was just left and right. They could have just done a separate release with that. You know, I've already gone over it so much. Just again, bad. Vix, Lucius, a lot of people thought for some reason in the voting that it would be actually really high up. No, I'm putting it here for good reason. They did not have to butcher Mobius the way that they did. Raid is just basically nerfing like the best one of the best longnesses in all of the releases and making it really weak and pathetic. Jet Wyvern, incorrect parts, and not even that. There's no rubber on the thing. And before people try to argue that actually it's better without the rubber, I'm going to still point to the fact that no one uses Jet for competitive. It's not good. Not to mention the whole elevated rings that Surge has for some reason. Stone has the worst blade out of all of Quad Drive right now. It's too much recoil when you do one hit. Not even on the tightest stuff can this thing actually last. It's a disappointing evolution. Magma Ifrit is pretty much the same boat, where it's a disappointing evolution. And also, this had a lot of hype to it because it was the first day to be owned by a main female blader in the story, and all it was just to advertise the Quad Drive system for Hasbro, which is really the worst that the Burst anime has ever been for advertisement, because obviously Beyblade anime is going to advertise the products, but this was really just insulting. Not to mention that even as a Hasbro Bay, it's not good compared to Takara, it's not good compared to Hasbro, it's not even good compared to Quad Drive, so this thing stinks. For the Takara ones, Metal Driver, Metal Driver, Metal Driver, the Phoenix Lair is a nice, really cool recolor, even the same with First Uranus, but these three have the same issue where basically it's not even a good Metal Driver, it is all Season 1 stuff, which is extremely disappointing. After that, you got Hellcurbex and Super Hyperion. Yeah, I basically had to throw in now. There are probably a lot of other stuff that we could just say, oh, what about this part, this part? These are just the ones that kind of resonated with me, because the reality is that for a lot of the voting and everything, it's, the voting influences a little bit, but it's not 100%, because I still put my input. It just helps, you know, a little bit to influence. Obviously, we got so many quick dash releases, there was no reason to just do normal quick. No reason at all. So considering that they did Wave Dash for the Astral Spriggan set, and this didn't need to just have normal Wave, even if it was released later, the Wave Dash, you know, they didn't have to, and it's like, blech. Anyways, moving on from there. Now listen, since there is another Dynamite recolor that has Jess, but it's way better than this, this one has to take the fall for us, unfortunately. Way more use in its respective meta than this garbage was. I don't even want to get into this, but again, garbage. Don't give me no crud on, oh, it's actually good defensively or whatever. If I see anyone defend this Hasbro nonsense that isn't just, this was a fun release, I'm coming after you, because this stuff did not serve any purpose competitive. Garbage releases. And I say this because the reason why we're going back to it is that I get really annoyed is that it's very convenient for the Hasbro fans and the apologists, the ones that are coping, to argue that it's not really about the competitive, but then after try to defend with competitive arguments for the releases. Yeah, but that being said, why does this release suck? Seamspin was okay opposite, so the Jet Ring is like fine. This, no. Now, this one will surprise you. Savior. Why is Savior here? I got good reason. Doesn't have to. The Savior Blade is top at the attack. It's like top tier attack. We're talking A tier. The Valkyrie Core is like S tier for stamina / defense. Not really good for attack. But why is Savior here? Am I basing it off the stock? Maybe, but not really. The real issue actually comes with the Valkyrie Core. Now, the Valkyrie Core is what I find the most disappointing for how it was handled. Now, as you might know, Dynamite Battle stuff with the teeth wears slightly more than previously because of how they designed it. And what really hurts is the original Valkyrie mold with that one and the Red Savior, because the teeth wear so fast that it renders the Valkyrie 1 core really useless to the point where you have to get like multiple copies. And sometimes multiple copies is justified, but not in the case where it's like for stupidity like that. So I think I was pretty fair on the Takara side and pretty fair for the Hasbro side for what was picked. So for this one we have Stone versus World. Oh yeah, World isn't right. Okay, that was way too fast. I like to believe it wouldn't just die right away, right? It's already lost because of burst, so... Wow, okay. So I guess Nemesis advances because it lost. Vex versus Brave. Okay. Magma versus... Wow. Magma versus Raid. Magma, first point. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now, unfortunately, sorry about this little one. Yeah. Well, Magma advances. Jet versus Infinite. First round goes to Infinite. Second round to Jet, so that means Infinite advances. I'm just gonna call that as double burst. Easy Stone win, and then after Brave's eliminated. Stone. Okay, so now we're tied. Yeah, because it won. Yeah, okay, yeah, no, we're tied. Okay, now we have Magma versus Infinite. Sometimes I question, all right, well, very funny that our battle has now ended up being for the finalists to find out who is the worst. 2 quad drive bays. This is really... So that's a self KO, so we'll let that round slide. That was a normal burst, so far Stone is safe. So all it needs is one more burst and it wins, meaning Magma loses, but Magma would advance. Okay, we're gonna go with double burst. Also hilarious that they just burst like that. Okay, so Magma actually has done really, really poor, so that's pretty cool. So oh my god, that's actually hilarious that it's somehow still lost. Okay, no armor for it now. Okay, next up it's Hell Kerbex versus Dynamite Ragnarok. So Kerbex should just burst, so it's whatever, but... Okay. Alright, well now it's first Uranus against Savior, so... First Uranus. There's no way, man. Solomon versus Hyperion. Still has the first point. And Solomon somehow lost. This might be easy because it's really not too hard to burst Hell Kerbex, so... We have Savior versus Death. If you ever wonder why I say that the Valkyrie 1 core is not good for attack, there you go. Okay, so while that was extremely fast, with Solomon finally eliminated, this means that the final to determine who is the worst TT release, I guess, or I guess the worst in this event, tournament, whatever, is Hell Kerbex versus Savior Valkyrie. Now, this will actually probably go to Hell Kerbex, which I hope it does, because that way Magma at least has a chance to not get crowned the worst. Okay, I mean, let's do this. Okay, this is to 3, so... Helcurbex loses once again. So that means it's just going to be another match and it's going to lose, right? That was a self-KO, so I'm not counting that. Dude, Helcurbex is kind of screwed, right? Because it's just going to keep dying. And that's all the good hits it could take. It's another burst. All right. Okay, this is for the final battle. This is where it's at. This is where it's at. This is the final battle. Magma versus Hell. Hell versus Magma. Who wins? Actually, that's not correct. Who loses? I'm also, first fight, also another rule. If it's a double burst, I don't care. I don't care if it was 1 second earlier. We keep it going. Oh, wow, never mind. Well, that was unfortunate. Wow, so it really was just outmatched. I mean, it was a pretty good opponent. Let's not lie. It was a pretty good opponent. It had a really good chance to win, but it didn't. I guess. So the loser, all those bursts, huh? The loser is Magma Ifrit, becoming the worst release of 2021. It could have gone to Helcurbex. It really could have. We were almost there. It could have gone either way, but the thing is, if I used it without, if I just had the Jaggy, or even if I tried the high mode would have been a lot faster. Jaggy probably would have been the exact same. So unfortunately, Magma, you get an award, but it's not the award you think it's good. It's not the award you think you're gonna get. So at the end of this, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I think for Magma fans, it finally gets the recognition for being an absolute garbage trash release. And if this release gets defended, I swear to God. And yeah, it just goes to show that somehow, even with an MFB remake that has Nerf teeth, no dash, somehow managed to still, like, the easiest to burst, still somehow managed to beat Magma. So Magma's bad. Let's hope Hasbro 2022, they get their stuff together. Let's hope TT does a good job as well. You know, they've been doing a good job, but yeah. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you are new here. Have an awesome and amazing day, and Quad Drive sucks. Bye.